This is going to be a very honest conversation for anyone who's listening, including myself, because there's really only a few things that you need to do to change your life. And the problem is everyone knows what they are, but sometimes you just need that reminder. There's only three things that you really need to understand in order to change your life, right? And the first one, most importantly, is you've got to sacrifice. You've got to give up the things that you are currently doing in order to have the things that you want. Very simply, there's a capacity, there's a certain limit, there's a certain number, there's a certain percentage that you can operate at in terms of doing certain things, right? If you want to build a business, or if you want to create things with your hands, for example, you want to craft tables, but you're sitting here and you're playing a PlayStation for 7 hours a day, you simply do not have the capacity to welcome in the craft of a table. That takes so much time. It takes effort. It takes effort to learn it, to finish it, to sand it, to polish it, to build it, to put it out there. That is something that you have to sacrifice the other amount of time for, right? And that applies to more than just actual time. It also applies to your mentality. You can't afford to have a negative mentality when you are trying to be positive about the outcome that you're trying to get in your life. You simply do not have the capacity to be both. So you must pick one. It really is that simple. As tough as it is, it's not easy, but it is that simple. You do have to pick the thing that you really need. And a lot of people are going to come and tell you, oh, it's okay to kind of do this and do that and not do that and give yourself the time. The issue is it's not okay. If you really want this thing, and the more that you want it and the faster and the sooner that you want it, the more you have to sacrifice. And you actually have to choose, what are you sacrificing? Today, I choose to sacrifice this or this current hobby, this PlayStation, this watching this movie, this eating this takeaway, for the six pack that I really want. That's where it is, because your goal and the thing that you're working towards doesn't take a day off. So you taking a day off isn't taking a day off, it's you sacrificing that thing in order to have anything. If you knew that you did this thing every day for 90 days, which most people do know that's what will happen, but if you do this thing every day for 90 days, this is what you will look like, and you knew that the outcome was 100%, you would do it. The issue is, so many people would rather not put up with that sacrifice, not put up with that mentality of they know what will happen because they're unsure, they're uncertain, so they sacrifice that goal. Now, instead of it taking them 90 days, it takes them 180 days because once a week they stopped, or twice a week they had a cheat meal, that kind of thing, right? You have to sacrifice in order to have. So either sacrifice your want, or sacrifice what you currently have, or sacrifice the desire. That's what you have to choose. Sacrifice the desire or sacrifice today's satisfaction. Number two, create the personality that you want in order to achieve what it is that you want. What I mean by that is very simple. A lot of the time, people are wanting things that they're yet to have or yet to understand, right? Someone who's financially free, or someone who runs a business, but you've never had that experience before. So what you have to do is create the personality that you believe it to be. This one is really actually probably a lot simpler than people imagine, right? If you have a person who's looking to run a business, but they don't know how to run a business, well, you understand the traits of a person that runs a business. You have to be smart, you have to be efficient with your timing, you have to be learning and intelligible, right? These are things that are generic, but also very, very easy to understand when it comes to being a person. So for example, myself, I want to be someone who helps people, and I want to get paid to do that, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through, creating courses, whether it's through one-to-one business development, whether it's through understanding stuff. So while I don't exactly know the full layouts of what business development is, or to understand how to market a business better, I do understand that the person who wants to be that person will learn. The person who's getting paid to do that, right? If someone paid me $8,000 to work with them for a month, I will learn everything that I need to in order to do that. So why not do it now? Right? Why not be the person that they are expecting to pay for? Why not be the person who wants to have a disciplined routine and wants to have be in shape? So be the person who works out. Be the person who says no to getting a takeaway every week or having a drink every weekend. Be that person, because you can create that personality, and sometimes you need to manipulate. You need to create that personality. One of the best things I've ever learned in my life was from my sales coach a few years back. This was a guy who took a risk with me, right? He was the first person that hired me in my job, and the things that he taught me, both about me and about sales and about logic and understanding and putting yourself out there, I will be forever grateful. And as any time he ever needs me, I will be there. He said to me in my interview, he said, I don't doubt that you have the skill to do this, but you don't have the confidence in it. And because of that, I'm not going to hire you unless you can convince me that you are confident in it. And he sat there and he watched me try and he went, I don't believe you. However, I believe that you want to believe. So I will hire you. And he sat down and he spent about 6 months with me working with me. And at the end of the 6 months, he went, one thing I'm going to tell you now, because I feel like you've got it. I've lied to you for the last 6 months. When I said that you're going to be great at sales, I didn't know. I lied to you because I wanted you to be great at sales. When I said that you were going to get your target, even though you didn't make a single sale for 2 weeks, I lied to you. I didn't think you would, but I wanted you to believe that you would because you would keep going. And he did, and he lied to me, and it worked every single time. Every time he lied to me, it worked. So what did I start doing? I started lying to myself. If I didn't think I could do something, I lied to myself. I went, no, you can. You'll do it. You've done it before. Or if I didn't think I would have the capacity to go to the gym, I'd like, no, you've got the energy. Like, you've done this before. You've been tired before and you've gone to the gym. Cool. Right? Or I've lied to say, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Yes, you will. And it's creating that personality. It's creating that alter ego that exists for the sole purpose of creating the life that you really want, right? If you want to be someone who teaches people things, you have to be the person of authority. You can't sound like you don't, but you also need to create the position in order to do that. And of course, that comes with putting yourself in those scenarios, putting yourself in those positions, introducing yourself to the relevant people, going to the things that you'd expect to be at as the person that you really want to be. And that's truth of the matter. And then lastly, and this is the most important one, right? Your only competition is you. No matter what's gone on with your life, no matter how your life compares to everyone else, no matter how much trouble or praise or how good you have been, you could be the best. You could be the absolute best. But your only competition is yourself. And that's the only way you're going to grow. And I'll give you an example of this. Something that I really kind of let take over for the longest time. So I lost my parent when I was young, when I was 13, and then I lost my dad. So I lost my mum when I was 11, 13, one of those two. And I lost my dad when I was 23, right? And from 23, well, as soon as I turned 18, I started having struggles with things. People used to come around and say, oh, but look what you've been through. You know, you're doing all right so far. Look what you've been through. Look what you've been through. And it never sat right with me because I was like, it doesn't matter what I've been through. I haven't done the thing that I want. And a lot of people, when I would go to advice for a lot of people, and it did came with love. It came with love and it came with positivity and support, right? They were wishing the best for me. They didn't want me to be too hard on myself. But that seeped in. That became the thing that I kind of relied on. I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, cool. I've done this. I've still managed to do this, even though people who have been through what I've been through haven't done this. And at the end of the day, like, I got comfortable in the fact that I've done more than what people expect. But at the end of the day, even though I've done more than what people expect, what they expect, they've never achieved. And no harm to my family, but they haven't achieved what I'm trying to achieve. So how could they tell me that I've done enough or I haven't done enough? The truth of the matter is, what I want, so the person that I'm trying to be, I've not done enough. Right? I didn't do enough, and I kept letting that kind of guide over me because I kept saying, oh, you know, other people in the world, they haven't been through what I've been through and achieved what I've achieved. Doesn't matter. My only competition is me. And if you can't physically see yourself, then go multiversal with it, right? There's a version of you that has achieved it. There's a version of you that didn't get defeated by that or didn't let the winds get to their head, right? Or didn't let their circumstances determine how they approach something new because of how other people may approach those circumstances. And that was me, right? There was a version of me that has been through the exact same grief and pain and loneliness that I've been through, but has somehow still got the life that I want to live, right? And the truth of the matter is because your only competition is you. There's nothing out there in this world, regardless of whether you want it to happen, wished it would happen, whether it's your fault or not. Unfortunately, you are not in control of everything. You do not have control over everything. The only thing you have control over is yourself and your own perception, your own understanding, right? You can choose to let that defeat you. You can choose to be like, okay, I've done enough for what I've been through. But if you don't feel it in your heart, then you don't feel it in your heart and you need to step up. right? As someone, I said this to my little brother. My younger brother had been through the exact same pain I has, and he's like, look what the pain we've been through. We don't need to go through more. I was like, okay, that's fine, understandable, but do you want more? And he turned around and said yes, and then said, you've got to do more then. As much as you've done a lot, and you haven't done enough. And that's the truth of the matter is, right? If your goal is to take 100 steps and you got to 99, but no one else in the world got to 99 steps, but you're the only person, you didn't take that 100 steps, you didn't do enough. Second place does not mean anything when it's time to win a race. That's the truth of the matter is. And your only competition is you. Those are the three things that you really need to understand. It's create the personality, it's sacrifice, and it's really simply you're your own competition. Those are only three things that you need to understand in order to make it. And one last thing as well, create a structure. Everyone says that you need discipline in order to get something. That's not true. You need structure. Structure creates discipline. Discipline doesn't create structure. If you are putting yourself in an environment that takes away from the goal that you are trying to achieve, your structure is not in place, your discipline will not save you. It is not enough. That is not enough of a feeling. You need to create structures, systems, things in place that allow you and create the life that you want, which means set days that you're going to go to the gym and go to the gym on those days. Say no to drinking on a Friday because you only drink on the weekends. You don't drink during the week, right? Eat and cook on certain days because you know that's when you're going to be able to feed yourself for the rest of the week. Those are the things that you need to do, because if you give yourself the opportunity to be controlled by your discipline will not be enough. Your discipline is what's going to take you go from a 9 to a 10, but it's not going to put you on the race in the first place. That is the structure that you need to have, right? Make sure that you have systems in place that will go for it. And that comes off the back of everything that I mentioned. That comes off sacrificing your downtime, sacrificing your hobbies. That comes from imagining the person that you're trying to be. And that comes from making sure that you are your only competition and not comparing yourself to anyone else. And that allows you to do those things. But yeah, that's everything. Honestly, the truth of the matter is the other stuff, the nuances, the little things that you need to do, everyone knows what those are, right? You want to lose weight, you know you have to eat calorie deficit. That's not the point. The point is making sure that you understand that calorie deficit is achieved because the person that you want to be is eating in that calorie deficit. That calorie deficit is achieved because you are sacrificing the joy of having a takeaway, the convenience of having a takeaway. And that calorie deficit is achieved because you are only comparing yourself against what you did before. Right? Not what no one else is doing, not what your friend's doing, not what the person who lost 20 kg did, not what the person who's put on 20 kg did. You needed to do something for your own calorie deficit, so you're the person in control of it. But yeah, that's it. I'll catch you for the next one.